I got people in this league that have been playing for years, bro. They've been playing for years. I only been playing with them, I think, the last 2 years, maybe
Oh, really?
three. I don't remember how many years, but I'm surprised that I just chose a crazy team like that. I surprised myself, like just off of knowledge that I've gained from like mistakes I made the last 2 years, and then
Yeah.
um the main guy that I'm always playing with, Eli, that's my boy from Chicago. Like
Okay.
he's been without fantasy for like 10 years, you know?
Jesus. You guys are veterans.
Like vets. Like he's been doing everything, like baseball, basketball,
Does he do it
football.
for money?
Yeah, it's all we do with money. Like some are smaller
Ooh.
than others, but like he does like, and he'll do like three basketball ones at the same time, three football ones, like two baseball. Like he's always in fantasy.
Damn.
Yeah, he's all about sports. So like that's why I was like, I watch sports. I don't watch it that much, but like I'm into the fact of like, putting more attention into sports through fantasy. Like I think it helps.
Yeah, you're more invested into it, right?
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
won't watch all the games. Like even with the football season, like I was checking out the games throughout the season.
Yeah,
But then
yeah.
once I lost in the playoffs, then
You just
like I
stopped.
haven't really watched the last 2 weeks of it like intensely because it's like I'm not looking for anything, you know.
I know exactly what you mean. That's how it was. I did football with like my work friends. So it's like a $5 entry, and then you
Yeah.
have to pretty much keep winning. Like you have to guess who's gonna win, and you have to keep like guessing right. And as soon as
Mm.
you guess wrong, you lose your $5. So you get like $5 equals one pick. So if you the more picks you get, the more you have to put in.
Oh, okay.
But I know as I started not started watching, I started like paying more attention to football and everything.
Mhm. Right. So like that's why I said like with basketball, I'm not even gonna lie, I haven't even watched like all the games. I have them subscribed on YouTube, like NBA, and I'll
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like highlights for certain games that matter to me. Like I want to see what happened.
yeah.
But like from everything that I got from like the knowledge from throughout the last couple of years, and then like reading up on like what really is fantasy about,
Yeah.
I ended up, first they said you need to go in with a strategy. So that's why I told you, I think I texted you that I went all big men. Like I wanted
Yeah.
like the biggest guys. Like I feel like they can consistently get me more points than just straight shooters. Like you're
And
betting on
plus,
a lot. Like you'll find
yeah.
maybe like a good five shooters in the league that'll always get you consistent points. But like if you miss out on those guys in the first couple rounds, then you're done.
Shot
So
blockers are actually really underrated.
who?
Shot blockers.
Shot blockers, right? Because
Hassan
that's
Whiteside
uh-huh.
is a beast in fantasy, bro. When he started rolling, when he started catching fire like last year and everything,
Uh-huh.
it was nice.
Bro, and I'm like, I was thinking about that too, right? Like, who's gonna give me the rebounds, assists? Like those
Yeah.
count a lot if there's somebody out there that gets it consistently. So
Defensive stats are worth 2 points, right? Like steals and blocks.
it just all depends what league you're in, like how the points are set up, and like they have ESPN fantasy, they have Yahoo fantasy, right?
Which
There's
one are
so
you
many.
in? Which one are you in?
Oh, I'm in the ESPN one. So
Okay,
and
yeah.
you can, as the commish, like the guy, he can always update stuff, and he'll tell us like what do we feel comfortable with. Like we'll vote on it before we start the draft, like how we want the points to be on certain
Yeah, yeah.
aspects.
Okay.
But so it was funny because I had a bunch of guys. What did I have here? I had a bunch of guys for like first pick that I was like, oh, I need to get one of these for sure because I was third pick. So I'm like, I'm definitely getting the top three guy, right? Like,
Yeah.
which one am I gonna go for?
Wait, answer this first before you start. Was Giannis number one?
Giannis,
Up.
bro. Let me see real quick because I think how can I go back to this draft? Hold on, because that was the interesting thing that it didn't really go like how I thought it was gonna go, and the guy that fell in my hand was let me see real quick.
Here, I'll look for the ESPN draft.
Okay, so Giannis got picked second in my league.
Luca got first.
Luca got first. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's because he's literally a triple double threat, bro. Like you
Right.
have to have him first.
But now look at the stats. These are like overall fantasy stats so far. Out of all players, I'll just go to the stats. All players, da da da, by points. Okay. The highest amount of points that one player has right now is the guy that I,
48.
huh?
48.
Well, it's not even 48. It's like, based on fantasy points, this dude has 216 points so far.
Who's this?
It's Jokic.
I knew it, bro. Jokic. Oh, that's the way to go, bro. That's a smart choice to make.
And I was like, bro, and I tell you, I did not even have his name written down at all. Like, I wasn't even, one, I was thinking he's not going to fall to me. And then on top of that, I was like, I don't know who I had. I was looking, I have like 3 pages of scribbles, so I don't even remember who it was. But I was like, I'm definitely not, like, I didn't even think about Jokic, right? But so he was there, like, lined
Mm-hmm.
up, and I was like, I'd be stupid if I don't take him. He's the top 3 player right here, so I'm taking
Oh
him.
yeah,
And he's
bro.
killing it, bro. Like, he's legit. Dog, this is the top 3 right now for fantasy, right? Jokic is on top with 216 points. And about 20 points under him, I don't even think you'll guess who it is, bro.
Wait, don't tell me. Is it Kyle Lowry so far?
Kyle Lowry's not there, bro.
Okay, wait, don't tell me. Is it a big man?
And he's a power forward slash center.
Power forward slash center. Power forward slash center. Power forward slash center. Oh my God! Why is it not?
Bro,
I
I'm
don't know.
telling you, like, you this guy got picked 32nd in my league.
Who's going off? What team is he on? Boucher. Chris Boucher. Chris Boucher.
Indiana.
Fuck. Miles Turner?
Bro,
Oh,
it's
Domantas
Sabonis.
Sabonis. Yes. I know. Yo, last year he was actually really, really good too.
Bro.
It's because of the high rebounds and the efficiency. That's the reason why big men are so good. I feel like because efficiency actually counts towards points, does it not?
Right, everything counts, bro. Every little thing. Like, that's why even if a dude scores 8 points, but he's doing crazy on all the other stats, like, you gain points for those stats. And I was gonna mention that as like my second biggest thing that I put in like my searches when I was like
Uh huh.
trying to save people in my queue and try to figure out who to pick was
Yeah,
like the
that's
amount
fucking
of
cute,
minutes.
bro.
Because I was thinking, like, game wise, I mean, fantasy wise, you're trying to get the most amount of points, right? That's the
Mm-hmm.
game you're playing. So you figure a guy that plays more has more chances to get points. So I'm like, okay, let me sort these guys out. Once they start going down to like the third, the fourth, fifth round, all the way down, there's like questionable names. There's some like famous names that but you don't really know how they're gonna pan out. Maybe they're on a new team. So I just sorted everything out by the minutes. And I think that's why I'm ahead by so much in my league. Is just based off of that. Like, when I
Because
look
the
at my
guys you use are used the most on their team.
right, like
That's smart.
I picked Mikal Bridges from the Suns.
Yep. Oh,
I
bro, the
picked
Suns are killing it.
I picked him up like 118th. That was my 118th pick. So that was down the line, and I guess looking at the stats and stuff, you didn't really know who he's gonna be, and he's a top 7 shooting forward right now.
Damn. The
Even
Suns are killing it, bro.
Bro, this random guy too. For me, it's random because I didn't even really look at him like that. Jerami Grant from the Detroit.
Jeremiah Grant. Yeah. He used to play for the Nuggets last year.
Okay,
He was a
and like,
big part of the Nuggets last year.
and bro, the average minutes for these guys are crazy. He's playing 37 minutes. Bridges is playing 33 minutes. I was going for all these guys like minute wise, and I say that because if I look down the list, I'll tell you, like, this week, for example, right? I got 937 points. And today's the
Damn.
last game of the week. The second highest amount of points in my league right now is 860. So I'm ahead. I'm ahead by what? What's that? 40, 70. I'm up by like 70 something points overall in the league. The guy that I'm playing right now, I'm ahead of him by like 200 something.
Ay. That poor guy.
And it's like, when I look at the other guys that people have, like some teams were scaring me, right? I see this one guy, he's got um, Drummond, he's got Lonzo Ball, he's got Paul George, he's got Mike Conley. You know, when I say these names, right? Devin Booker, you know
Yeah,
these
yeah.
names, right? You're like, damn, he got stars. Like these are names I see on Instagram all day long. Like they're gonna
Oh
be
yeah.
something. But they're not to that level, right? Like point wise, fantasy wise, like they're not performing every single game, you know, like the
Yeah.
way you would think. So that's just my little 2 cents in this podcast about fantasy. Like, don't even look at the names. Look at the overall team. I literally looked at every single depth chart too. Like, I looked at Portland depth chart. I looked at Milwaukee depth chart.
Yeah.
And there's some names that you don't even really think of, but they're going to be starters on the team.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're starters and they're playing over 30 minutes, like they're bound to do something. They're on an NBA team. Like they're going to
Yeah.
get points.
The thing you look for too is like you don't have to, like, the guy on your team doesn't have to score 25 points. You know what I mean? This guy could be scoring like 11 points, 15 points, but because he's like, but he's efficient. You know what I mean? He's shooting like 70% from the field, right?
Yeah.
Especially like big men, you want someone who's like efficient but has defensive stats too.
Right.
Bro, do you know who Paschal is from the Golden State Warriors?
Paschal?
Yeah, he's like
I had him last year. Yeah.
Tell me he didn't go off.
Yeah, he did.
You know what I mean? And then there's another guy, Robert Williams III on Boston Celtics.
Okay.
Bro, he would have these, like, because of injuries, I had to let him go. But he would have these like games where like he scored like 12, 15 points, like 6 for 6 from the field. You know what I mean? They didn't miss a free throw. It has like 2 or 3 blocks, couple steals.
Okay.
It's because like they're like the really good players out of the ones that are not superstars. You know what I mean?
Right.
So no, like, fuck, I miss fantasy, man. I wish I fucking played. We talked about this last time.
I know, bro. I told my boy too, and it's like it was that late because like I don't know how. He texted me a couple days before that, and then like he's gonna get one more guy in, And then when I was talking to you, and you're like, I'm into fantasy. That was the day of the draft. Like everything was already. We had like all the people in. Like if it was like 3 days earlier, I could have got you in that like last spot.
I know, bro. I don't know why I didn't ask.
But now I know. Like next year, like I'm sure one guy's gonna not be in the group. You know, like so we'll figure.
Oh, that'll be fun too, man. I'm gonna bring up my. Actually, no. Since we're already on basketball, I don't know what the fuck is up with these Toronto Raptors, bro. Like, have you like kept up at all, like with how they're playing?
How have they been playing?
Like Dookie, bro. Like absolute Dookie. Like they're so bad. Hey, 1 second,
bro.
Bring this over here. But yeah, no, bro. Like they're like 1-5, I think, right now. I'm trying to bring it up.
They don't have that. They don't have that camaraderie ship that was there when they went to the finals. I think things are a little bit shaken up now.
Like here. Where's Toronto? Toronto, they're 1-4, bro. Like,
1-4.
What are you saying right now?
You know what's crazy though? Like in the NBA, I think you've noticed that too. Is like, I would say the first, sometimes even the first 30, but I won't stretch it. I'll say the first 20 games sometimes don't even dictate how the season's gonna go. Like
that's true.
It's weird like that.
But like it's really bad for like what's the word I'm looking for? Like confidence and stuff, you know what I mean? And like people are hating Nick Nurse too. Like they're like hating on him because like they're saying he's not making the right coaching moves. You know what I mean? He's not playing the proper players like Matt Thomas and all of them. Like, bro, look at. Well, you can't look. I'm looking at it right now, but like, last night they lost to the Pelicans. I watched that game. We were literally winning, and this is the thing that has been happening a lot since like this season, is that they're doing really well in the beginning, and then all of a sudden they just like fall off in the second half, and then they just get crushed.
Yeah, I'm
It's
trying to see right now. Um, yeah, Van Fleet carried them. He got 27.
yeah. Van Vliet
8
got
rebounds, 5
27.
assists.
See, like Pascal. Also, Pascal. I think he got benched last game because uh, I forgot. Oh yeah, because in the game before that, they were losing. He got fouled out and he just walked out. He pulled a LeBron. He just walked away.
What?
So the team kind of like punished them for that.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, bro.
See,
Friggin'
I would say, like I said too, right? Like, because I was looking at the Wizards heavy. I ended up getting Westbrook on my team. So I was like, I
nice.
wonder how they're
Nah,
gonna.
not really, but
Well, they're 1-5, and you would
I
think
know.
like they got Beal, they got like if you put the stats up, it's like they're going in, but the
Yeah,
whole team all around, they're not really performing how they should. But like I said, bro, I think once you get like 1/3 of the way into the season,
yeah,
the team's either clicking and they figured out what they're doing wrong, how to readjust, or they don't.
yeah.
And then you gotta wait
He's
till
he,
next.
he- he's still getting his triple double. I'm pretty sure. Like,
Yeah, he has been.
oh
It's crazy.
shit. I'm looking at this right now. Um, they're facing the Nets tonight. I mean, I know Westbrook and Durant are like they're cool now, but they're both in the East, right? So you have
Yeah, it's a
that.
whole new vibe now.
Oh, look at this. Beal with 31.2 points. Westbrook. Oh my god. That's me. Yeah, this is gonna be a good game. I just want to see Westbrook's stats though.
Right?
He's been shooting awful, like awful apparently.
Who we talking about?
Yeah.
Westbrook?
Westbrook, yeah, it's 42%, 26 from three. Yikes.
He's still a top 3 in fantasy. To me, I'm good. Like he got me 40 points or 32 points the last game. The
Yeah.
only
Oh wait, you're cutting out.
trying like they're trying to I don't know what they're doing right now. Either trying to oh, okay. Do you hear me?
Okay, there you
Yo,
go.
yo. The thing that they're doing with him, I don't want to say baby him, but they're trying to really like protect him, and so every back-to-back game that they run into, they take him out one of the
True.
games.
Like the what's it called? What's it called? Smoke management. That's what they call it. Smoke
What's it called?
management. They call it smoke
Smoke.
management
Oh,
because you don't want that smoke.
bro. I'm like, why would they do that to him? Because he's doing so. He's supposed to be that dude with Beal. Like I'd want to see them out there all day, but the coach literally announced like he's gonna do that for the first half of the season. Any
Smart.
back-to-back games, he's gonna take him out.
Westbrook's old. No, sorry, I shouldn't say that. He's not old. Westbrook's getting older. You know what I mean? He's like, he got drafted in what, 08, right?
So they're trying to just basically reserve as much as they can in hopes if they go to the playoffs, they know they're gonna just need a whole hell of a lot from him.
And Westbrook plays at 100 all the time. So, and you're not gonna stop him from playing at 100. So instead of playing back-to-back games at 100, it's like, okay, play one game, then don't play the next. Now you average the 2 out. It's 50. You played 50,
Okay.
like, you know what I mean? You gave your body a break.
Yeah, okay, I guess so, yeah.
Cause I think like you said that they're trying not to baby him, right?
Yeah.
Like they don't so I think that's what they're like, okay, we're not gonna ask you to not play 100% because obviously we're not gonna piss you off.
Right.
But yeah, I just think that this is gonna be a crazy year. Like Kyrie and Durant are going off too.
I
I was
know
gonna check.
that's nice to see. Like we could
I was just
finally
gonna
see
check
them
that
match.
out.
I saw a tweet from one of my boys. He's really into basketball too, and he got a lot of retweets on this one. It said that can we just cancel the NBA this season? Clearly, with the way how the season is, I don't remember exactly what he said, but he's like, you can clearly see the effects on how the season is being played when one team is getting blown out, and then that same team gets blown out the next game, and like it makes no sense, something like that. Do you feel that type of energy watching it this year or no?
I'll be honest with you, I've barely watched any games. Not cause
Or
like
at
I'm
least
just
if you've
like
seen any highlights or you saw the score where you're like, what? Like, how did that happen?
bro. I don't. I don't know. Maybe because it's early in the season, like the competition just seems like very lopsided, kind of. I think that's what you're trying to go with. Like,
I
I'm
guess
looking at
so,
some
yeah.
games. I'm looking at some games right now. Like, at least for the Washington Wizards, like they lost 114 to 96, and then they won 145 to 141. You know what I mean? 116, 111. It. I just think maybe because the game has become such a offensive, like it's scoring is everything. Maybe that's why you see
So
such high scores and such lopsided scores.
yeah, do you think it like plays into effect based off of how the season is due to COVID? Does
I
any
think
of that
so.
play into effect, or it
I
would?
think so. It's a shortened season, and I don't know. I just think you're not gonna see good basketball until like after midpoint. A
Yeah,
lot of people are gonna sit out in the beginning, right? You're not gonna like the what were they saying? They were saying something about somebody.
LeBron.
Was it LeBron? Yeah, like no, not just LeBron, like just superstars that trying to take it off.
Yeah,
They're like, okay, fine. You know what? If you have like if it's like a major game, like where like it's televised and everything, you can't say no to it. But you know what I mean? Like you
you
can't
need
say,
to
oh, I'm
play,
sitting this
right?
game out. Like you
Yeah,
have to play that game. Um, and so yeah, I guess I feel like you're gonna see a lot of injuries this year.
you think so? Ah,
Only because of the fact that what was it? What sport was it? Was it that was just playing football?
uh-huh.
Look how many injuries happen in football. Do you know what I mean? And it was because of
It was a lot, yeah.
yeah, you mean like there was like no preseason or anything that like they just jumped right into
They
it.
jumped right into it. I mean, you see
So
it, some names that pop in my head right now is like Kevin Love got hurt. Cat, his other wrist, right?
what? I didn't know this. I gotta see this right now.
About who?
There's like just all these injuries,
Yeah, Cat. I mean, like on top of him dealing with his whole family, like
bro. That's so
passing away
sad.
from COVID, and then he like
Yeah,
was about to lose it. Came into the season balling the first two games, and then he got injured off of like I think his wrist or something like that. He hasn't been playing.
here let's see. Uh, yeah, there's actually a lot of. I'm like I'm looking at a list right now. I'm just like here I'll put it on the screen. It's just like different teams and then like the injuries that they have
Yeah.
and like there's a decent amount of injuries going on in every team. Freaking oh, bro! Speaking of injuries, Klay Thompson, when he what is it? He ruptures his Achilles, right?
Right, like off season.
Yeah. Fuck, man. Like how and like apparently it's very common to if you have like a major thing like ACL, like a ACL tear and stuff,
Right.
for something like that to happen.
It's unbelievable, bro. And on top of them not even doing that well, like they could definitely use him. Not really looking
It's
too good.
you see a lot of people are like, oh man, I feel bad for Stephen Curry, like he has to carry this team by himself, blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden I see memes saying, I didn't see LeBron getting the same energy when this happened to him. I'm like,
Uh,
that's fair. Some of the years where LeBron legitimately had to carry this whole team, I understand. Like I think he should get some slack for that.
yeah.
But what was it? Oh, okay. Do you remember what we were talking about before? The offensive player of the year?
Okay.
Okay, I want to talk about that again because I was actually taking your advice. I'm actually no, I'm actually taking. I'm going to be taking your advice on the whole clips thing. You know how like to like make a clip, like cause for example, make a clip, put it on like TikTok, whatever.
I thought we are talking about something like about the MVP related. I was like, okay,
Mm.
clip. Okay, yeah, yeah. Chop up the clip. Yeah, bro. We should. You always have to do that, bro. It's
So
2020 right now. If you notice, like, yeah, I watch Gary Vee a lot too. So sometimes
yeah,
he talks like for a whole hour, and if he himself like while he's talking, and it'll play in his head, it'll be like, wow, I just said something cool. You see him grab his phone and text, and he's literally texting his boy that like helps him chop stuff up. He's like, "Hey, I did this interview, and this part was really good. Remember to like clip that." And he'll
I was like a
clip it
marker.
and get
Yeah,
everywhere, like TikTok, Instagram, da
yeah,
da da.
yeah.
Like
I mean that is really smart.
yeah,
Hey, wait, let me see if I could. What was it? Oh yeah, but yeah. So offensive stats.
so bring up again. Well, bring up again. Just bring it up because it's always a topic of discussion. How you came about to that thought, and what are we looking at? Like, what's that defensive years? Because I also had something to say about that.
Right. Okay. So the last couple years, there's always been like arguments on like who should be the MVP, right?
Yeah.
I'm actually on the ESPN app right now, and it's saying like it has different categories. It'll go offensive leaders and then defensive leaders.
Yeah.
So what I was trying to say was that you get so many arguments like, oh well, this person scored this many points and this person scored this many points. Like it's always about the points apparent. Like nowadays, I find, for example, when I thought Kobe got robbed with Steve Nash,
Yeah.
which I think he did, but because he was scoring averaging like what 30 something points that year. Steve Nash was averaging like less than 20 points and like 10 assists, but his team was like first in the league or something like that. That's when the Phoenix Suns were crazy. So that's why they gave it to Nash, because he was like the best player of the best team. And so you hear that argument, and then you have Harden always saying, oh well, like we always talk about, oh my god, he scores 40 points, he scores 50 points, 60 points, he should be MVP, based simply on the fact that we're saying he's scoring all these points. Yes, he gets these triple doubles and everything, but it's always the points that they're talking about.
Okay.
So my thing, what I was trying to say is there should be a defensive player of the year, right? Which they do have. There should be an offensive player of the year, and then the MVP should be someone who's like just perfectly balanced in the middle. And I also mentioned that this might be the best thing for LeBron.
Yeah.
Right, because he is very like well-rounded. Defensively, not so much. That's why I feel like he might not win it. Right.
Right. I see what you're saying. You know what I mean? Like, I think that goes to like that whole issue, like with Harden, right? How everybody's like, oh, he plays so well, but he doesn't do well on defense, right? Okay, it's like, then there you go. Then here it is, because he was scoring good. He did great offensively, but let's not give him the MVP because there was this guy, whoever you want to call it, because he was good overall. I see what you're saying, but like I think what the argument came into is like the whole MVP race, most valuable player, tends to be the guy that scores a lot.
Yeah,
that's where it ends up coming into that whole question where like, yeah, that's why they have a defensive, player of the year, right? Because then you look solely on that defense.
Yeah.
But what else are you looking for in terms of offense, right? Like an offensive player, you're gonna look at how his shooting average, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Now MVP, is it gonna be somebody that can do both overall, like what you're arguing? If they do it, I'm sure they would find a way to sort it out.
Yeah.
Like then you would really dive deep into the stats, like really what is solely offensive related, and then you would find that batch of players that are like right in the middle that's doing like what you said, right? Like what you would think LeBron would be that guy.
Yeah.
Like where would LeBron fall? You would say
like,
he would be the MVP.
Yeah. He could be like, if he like has really good defensive stats too. For example, like Nikola Jokic, right? He could win MVP. He's pretty good defensively. You know what I mean? Like he can stop the other guys, big men. And I'm looking at it right now, and he's literally averaging 13 assists this season.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Like, for example, like I can see right here, offensive leaders. James Harden is number 1 in points, averaging 37 points.
Okay.
Right. Then it's Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, Trae Young, CJ McCollum.
Right. So That would be kind of cool to just make the NBA that much more lively, right? Like when we're arguing about who's gonna be the best, and then you have to argue like what a couple years back when it was like, well, Westbrook or Harden, and it's like they're both great shooters. They would leave that argument into play when it comes to the actual shooting, right? Like offensively, and
Yeah.
then totally separate the MVP award, which would probably have different people that we would be arguing about, you know?
See, like that's what I'm saying. Like that's why I think like having the offensive player of the year might be the best thing, because then Harden can just focus on doing that. And I think the reason why, because then we literally have an argument on who's the best scorer of all time, right?
Right.
Something that can, I mean, I guess scoring titles. Okay, you know what? That's a scoring title, I guess, right?
I mean,
but offense is also like not just scoring; it's like passing too. So like, what if you have like high double, like high double double, maybe even a triple double?
I mean, that's that's the whole thing on like right. That's what are you looking at specifically when it comes? And I think what would be good. That's the other thing that comes to mind is like, because you're obviously introducing a whole new way of looking at like who's the best player, right?
Yeah.
Well, where would this would probably come in due to the fact that people are always arguing, about well he was a good shooter, right?
Yeah.
Well, let's actually have like what are the categories, not the categories, what are like the points that people are looking at, the key points in each category, so that the whole world can know what are we all looking at, right? And then we can all have a common consensus, like, and agree that if Westbrook, for example, should win, everybody in the world should be like, that's fair, right?
Yeah.
It shouldn't just be like, oh, this guy won and nobody knows, and then you go on Twitter and stuff, everybody's arguing that was BS. Why would he? You know?
So
it gets confusing, like what you're saying, right? You're trying to say like, well, it's shooting, like how about passing and stuff? Like, well, let's make it clear overall. Is that what the committee? I guess that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Like, what are they looking at?
Here, so okay, so as you were saying that, I was thinking about this. Okay, so I'm gonna bring this so I can see it.
Yeah.
So, offensive leaders, the categories go points, assists, 3 points made, right? So what you can do is like points. Obviously, look at that. With points, you can look at field goal percentage, right? Field goal percentage and all that stuff to like kind of make it more specific and everything.
Right.
When it comes to assists, look at assist turnover ratio, right? Right. You should. I think you should also look for. They call it hockey assists. So like not the last person that touched the ball, but the person that gave it to them.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? For example, like someone could like throw it down the court, full court, just throw it. Someone's gonna catch it and then just alley-oop it to someone. Now that person who made that full court pass doesn't get the assist. You know what I'm trying to say? Like that full court pass caused everything, but the person who literally gave the alley-oop gets.
Count as an assist?
That doesn't count as an assist. That's a hockey assist. But they only count it as the last person that touched the ball and give it to you. That's an assist. In hockey, it's the last two people that touched it that get the assist.
Oh, wow.
So see what I mean? So like that could be something you could look at too in the offensive player of the year, right? Right. Assist, like I said, assist turnover ratio, right?
Right.
3 points made. I think if you have a high 3 points made, that makes you a better offensive player only because you are now more lethal. Then you should also look at 3-point percentage, but you should also look at attempted, right? Like attempted versus made, because you don't want someone who has like the bare minimum of it and have like the best one, right? You know what I'm trying to say? Because they don't have as many shots as like James Harden does, but like someone who's like a bench player has a better percentage because he meets like the minimum requirements of like the category. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Okay. Yeah. You see that's why it goes deep, right? That's exactly what we're talking about. Like there's so many categories to look at.
Exactly. So you should look at that. Then you have defensive, like you have the defensive players. So you have rebounds, blocks, steals, right?
Right.
So I just think that like when it comes to offense, there's a lot of things that you can look at.
But
so
now
I think
you would have to make a strong point as to then who would be the MVP. Like, is that MVP scoring less than the offensive player.
Probably. Maybe. You like so for example, like if you look if you're look like if you go on the ESPN app and just look at NBA stats, look at the in the offensive, you see a lot of the same players. In the defensive, you also see a lot of the same players. So what I'm trying to say in the MVP is somewhere where you can see them in both.
Let me see. Where did you look that up? ESPN point leader.
Stat leaders.
Let's see this.
But yeah, so like that's why I just think that like we should have I'm not we should like but like they should just have an offensive player because yes, you can say, oh, I have this many scoring titles. But now you can be like, no, I want offensive player of the year. Football has offensive player of the year, do they not?
Yeah.
Shouldn't the quarterback be like, cause like, you know what I mean? Like, so what's the difference between offensive player, defensive player, and then MVP? So like, you know what I'm trying to say? So you're saying like the MVP is like the quarterback.
Right. It's most of the time it's the quarterback because he's doing the majority of the work. You know, like the running back could run a whole lot, but usually it'll end up boiling down to the QB. Like he'll probably have the same amount of attempts or more than the running back rushing attempt. You know, so that guy, the QB, is actually throwing the ball probably more than he's giving the ball off to the running back. And the passing is going to lead to either the touchdowns or the interceptions, the stuff that's going to like really change the game. So, you know, but that's you know, I feel like it's so different because in the NBA, like what in the NFL, I mean, you're going to give the ball to the QB every single time. Like it goes in his hand every single snap. That's the leader of the offense.
Yeah.
So like, but like in basketball, you pass the ball around all day.
You play offense and defense. Like you don't have a specific.
Like
you know what I mean.
You go back and forth on the court all game. You know, and like it's not just one player. Like you can be dishing it off to you know, to your point guard. Yeah, he's gonna be doing some of the work to get the shooting and stuff, but who's to say that you can't keep dishing it off to the center that's right there in the middle? He's doing good that game, right? It's just like you don't have like a you know a specific guy, but that's why I think when it comes to that leadership standpoint, like can
oh wait, you're cutting out.
That guy for the majority of the time is always doing either that offensive work the most or the defensive work the most. So you know, I think that would be a good thing to put in there too. It's just like the committee would have to be very like NBA savvy.
Yeah.
Like be really. Did they watch all the games? Did they really see how the player was playing all season?
Yeah. You know? So like that's what I'm saying. Like it just like I feel like some people will get the credit that they might like they deserve. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think I don't know. I'm not trying to sound like everyone deserves something. You know, like I'm not trying to like participation medals. Like I'm not trying to say that, but I'm saying like in a sense, there's more for people to work towards. You know what I mean? There's another thing that they can work towards. I might not be MVP, but I can be offensive player of the year. You know what I mean? Like I'm not that great at defense. Obviously, I'm gonna work on my defense, but like I'm not gonna be Kawhi Leonard, like out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So I think people like. Honestly, MVP, I can see a lot of guards winning it. You know what I mean? Just because of the fact that they have the assist. But I also see I think like a small forward, power forward would probably be like the one that would be winning it a lot because of the fact that big men can shoot now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not only can you shoot, you can like protect the paint. You can play good defense.
Yeah.
You can guard a lot more people.
Yeah, I was gonna say I really do see the change happening when it comes to everybody looking at who was the best player all season, and then it's like it's totally eliminated when it comes to playoffs.
Oh, 100%.
That plays a big part. Like I always thought that was so weird to just like you know, MVP, and then it's like for the season, right? And then they go to the playoffs, and the guy's not doing the same thing.
Exactly, because it's different.
Like that would be your most valuable player, is the guy that did good all season and in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it sucks because then it's like, you know, that would take away so much from players that just didn't have an overall good team.
Yeah.
But like, don't you think that that player that was your most valuable player most likely took you into should be taking you into the playoffs and pushing as much as he can through the playoffs also? You know, like what happened in Milwaukee when everybody was depending on Giannis, right? Because he was the
Yeah.
MVP and he was doing so well, and then they're like looking at him like, well, he can't perform. Well, does that mean that he is the most valuable player? Yeah, he was killing the stats overall with it.
Yeah.
Like, but right, like, is that fair to say? Like,
He's the valuable player. He's just not on the valuable team. You know what I
right.
mean? Sorry, I'm just lagging a little bit.
Yeah, we're all lagging a little bit.
All right. Should be okay now. But yeah, like so do you think there should be like a regular season MVP and then it goes to playoff MVP and then finals MVP?
That's a lot, though. That's a lot.
Hey man, the more honestly, I think the more titles or like the more accolades you can get, cuz that's what everyone thinks about nowadays. You know what I mean? I got this, I got this. Like when with the LeBron argument, they always bring up his um like all his MVPs and all this stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So accolades actually mean something. So I'm saying like it could bring more value to someone's career. And I think it'll be a lot more competition.
I'm trying to see right now. Like, if I look at I was just trying to look at football, not to
Yeah.
compare it, but I just wanted to see because I know that there's like MVP award, right? You can get it for the season,
Yeah.
but then there's obviously a Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
So that's what they do, right? And that's what NBA does too. But
Yeah.
it's like you're adding in an extra one in the playoffs, and maybe that would actually make sense in basketball because of it being a series. When it comes to
Yeah.
the playoffs, there's more games to play. Like, there could definitely be a playoff MVP now,
Yeah.
but you don't think that would contradict like who the finals MVP might be?
No. Because
Because like you
now
would assume that the best player that would be playing through the playoffs is probably pushing his team to get to the finals, which he would end up being like you would see like LeBron killing it all playoffs. He's gonna end up
mm,
winning the finals, and then it's like he's the finals MVP also, for
but
example.
think of it like this. Like you know how you said like how does a regular season MVP shouldn't that be like like the MVP in the playoffs but he doesn't show up?
Right, but then I feel like it's just such a different thing because the regular season, right? Of course, it can go that way, right? Like
Yeah.
you could play good all season, like we're seeing now. Westbrook is getting great numbers, but they're 1-5. Who knows how the season's gonna go? But he might be up there as a top three shooter, offensive leader, da da da. They might just
Yeah.
not make it. You could play a game all day long. You might be losing by 2 points every time, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, then you don't go to the playoffs. But the playoffs, you're there to get to the finals. Like, you're most likely going to be the MVP of the finals, I mean, of the playoffs, by winning round one, winning round two, going to that, continuing on until you make it to that whole argument. It might end up being to that team that's like almost you know, like the two best teams of the West that are facing off
Yeah.
each other, and that one team that loses, they might have a better, like a player that you would say did way better than a guy on the other team that ends up going to the finals. Is
I
that what
see.
you mean?
I see. I see what like. It's not gonna be like a per series. You know what I mean? It's gonna be more of like the first round MVP, second round MVP. You know what I'm
Oh,
trying to say?
that would be a lot. That would be a lot.
But like in a sense, it would kind of be like that because of the fact that like, because like, how do I say like someone could have a really good series, but their team just couldn't push through it. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean you're not a valuable. Go ahead.
I see what you're saying. I know what you mean. I was just thinking, do you think it takes away from the whole teamwork aspect on taking your teams to the finals? Like, do you think that would cause too much controversy? That like the dude might be low key thinking in his head that he wants to take more of the shots or to just be more selfish because like he could just get that playoff MVP.
Yes, but I guess you can say the same thing about like trying to win MVP, right? Everybody wants to win MVP. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, like people are still gonna kind of keep like people are still gonna kind of know their role,
Yeah.
right? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, for example, like, remember when Andre Iguodala won that Finals MVP for
Uh-huh.
just for letting LeBron have like a 30-point triple double instead of a
Yeah,
40-point
yeah,
triple
yeah,
double?
yeah.
So something like that, I was kind of like, you looked at one thing and then you gave it to him. You like, I didn't think that was okay. I think Steph Curry got robbed
You think?
because he went off. You know what I mean? Like, I get Andre Iguodala like locked up LeBron, which he did. Like, certain plays he stopped him, but like, I just thought that because they saw that one aspect, it clouded for like exact like being the offensive player of the year. Like, because one person scores so much, you don't look at the fact that there's one person doing everything else. Not everything
Yeah,
else, but like
yeah.
that just had like a better actual like a series.
Like I think that also plays a part in what the MVP means because like now when you say that, it's like Iguodala won because of what he did, right, with LeBron. Da
Yeah,
da da. They counted that as more valuable than Steph Curry scoring all those points. That's what it basically means.
that's what I'm exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like I don't know. Like, I just think that it really does sound like I'm trying to make like an award for everything, but like I just want something where it's kind of like you can stop arguing about who wants to be like the MVP. You know what I mean? There's certain criteria you got to meet. Like, for example, when you play NBA
Right.
2K, you can't go into the Hall of Fame until you hit a certain amount of accolades. You know what I mean? You got to have this many triple doubles or like stuff like that. To be
Yeah.
MVP, you don't have to be just a good scorer. You got to check out all the boxes
Yeah. Yeah,
because
I
you're the
think
most valuable player.
yeah, you're trying to give more love. You're trying to spread the love
Yeah. I
because
smoke weed. What do you expect?
like you get into the NBA like how we are now, like we could pick like 10 names that we would like love to see get an award because like Jokic is doing so well, but Westbrook is, but look at Kyrie,
Yeah.
like how about right? And so then it hurts when you end up getting down to the, all the way down to the, filter it down to one player.
Yeah.
Then it's like you took away from him. Like you took,
Yeah.
well, that's how it works, right? Like you can't. What are you supposed to say?
Yeah. I mean, wow. I keep replaying what I'm trying to say in my head, and I keep like realizing that I'm trying to give an award for everything. Just take your little stupid awards, give the MVP to someone real.
But don't you? Aren't there like? Isn't there a Rookie of the Year award?
Yeah, this is Rookie of the Year. You know what I mean?
So they're giving different awards out. You're just trying to
Six
add
man. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm trying to add some more so it you can stop so it cuts down the criteria for the MVP. So there's less arguing.
Right.
But yeah,
Like I could just give an example. Like let's say if that's how it was this year, right? And then you're like, okay, Drummond wins Defensive Player of the Year. They
Okay.
don't go far. He's on Cleveland, da da da. But he was a great defensive player.
yeah.
Then it's like offensive player would be Kyrie. He went off
Okay.
offensively. But then the MVP would be LeBron.
Yeah.
And then you feel like everybody would be happy. Like that was way better than to just have like a defensive player that you go to Drummond and then MVP would be LeBron. And then at the end people are like, but Kyrie went off. Or like, right? That argument.
Exactly. Because what would happen is Kyrie would be like, "Well, I went off," and you could be like, "Okay, you want the Offensive Player of the Year. Why did you win? Why did you not win MVP? Because LeBron beat you in every other stat.
Yeah, like the other stats, he had more. Yeah, he had more to
Yeah,
show, right?
he had more to show. So like in a sense, you are valuable. Offensively, you're valuable. He's
Yeah,
valuable. Defensively, he's valuable. He's valuable because overall, he's valuable to me. So
I
yeah,
like that. I kind of like that. When you put in that perspective, I mean, like they could do that. It doesn't
because
hurt.
yeah, because then you're not gonna have Harden be like, oh, I dropped 40 points. I dropped this. Okay, cool. You won your offensive player of the year. Stay like there. You can physically see the argument now.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's like, oh well, why didn't I win MVP? Look at the numbers, bro.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean?
I get that. That works.
He's looking at the ones just fly. That's it.
I mean, and I guess that would work too. Because now when I'm thinking too, like in the NFL, there's so many different all the awards, all NFL awards. I'm
Here,
trying
one
to
sec. I'm
just
gonna pause the thing real quick. I'm just gonna check on my camera.
okay.